In the fog-choked outskirts of Glasgow, Scotland, where streetlights flickered like dying stars, an abandoned textile mill loomed over a crumbling neighborhood, its shattered windows gaping like hollow eyes. Here, in this forgotten corner, a sinister presence known only as the Watcher stalked fatherless children, a psychopathic predator whose obsession was as chilling as it was incomprehensible. His silhouette a gaunt, elongated shadow that seemed to bleed into the mist, moving with an unnatural gait, his breath a rasping whisper that carried the stench of decay. The mill, long shuttered after a fire, claimed half its walls in the 80s, was his lair, its labyrinthine corridors littered with rusted needles, scorched fabric scraps, and Polaroids of wide-eyed kids pinned to rotting beams, each photo marked with a crimson smear that glistened wetly under moonlight. Local kids, like 14-year-old Jamie, an orphan living with his overworked aunt, whispered of the Watcher's legend. A man, or something less than human, who hunted those without fathers, drawn to their vulnerability like a moth to flame, his fixation rooted in a twisted belief that fatherless souls were unclaimed, ripe for his collection. Jamie, tough but haunted, noticed strange signs, a shadow lingering outside his school, a Polaroid of himself slipped under his door, his name scrawled in jagged red ink. At night, his dreams were invaded by a faceless figure humming a warped lullaby, its voice slithering through his mind like ice. The Watcher's methods were meticulous, yet deranged. He'd trail his prey for weeks, leaving cryptic tokens. Rusted lockets, a child's shoe, a bloodied rag, each gift escalating the terror his presence felt in the creak of floorboards or the sudden chill in a room. One night, Jamie and his friend Lila, a 15-year-old foster kid with a knack for picking locks, decided to confront the nightmare, sneaking into the mill after finding a map scratched into a photo of Jamie's face. Inside, the air was thick with rot, and the walls seemed to pulse as if alive, lined with mirrors reflecting nothing but darkness. Deeper in, they found a shrine, a grotesque altar of children's toys, melted candles, and bones too small to be animal, surrounded by Polaroids of kids who'd vanished, their eyes scratched out. A low, guttural chuckle echoed, and the Watcher emerged, his face a ruin of scars and mismatched stitches, eyes burning with a manic glee, his voice crooning, "No fathers to save you now." His hands, gloved in cracked leather, clutched a syringe filled with a black, viscous fluid, his gift to bind his victims to him forever, a serum he believed would make them his eternal children. Jamie's heart pounded as Lila, trembling but defiant, hurled a rusted pipe at the Watcher, shattering a mirror and revealing a hidden room where a faint whimper escaped, a missing boy, barely alive, wired to a machine that hummed with a sickly green glow. The Watcher lunged, his movements jerky like a marionette, but Jamie's scream drew the attention of a passing night watchman, an ex-cop named McBride, who'd been tracking disappearances despite the town's dismissal of runaway cases. McBride stormed the mill, his flashlight cutting through the dark, catching the Watcher mid-strike, his syringe inches from Lila's neck. A struggle ensued, and McBride, fueled by rage for the kids he'd failed, tackled the predator, pinning him as the room filled with the stench of burning wires from the shattered machine. The Watcher, unmasked as a former mill worker named Elias Kane, had lost his own son decades ago and descended into madness, believing he could replace him by claiming fatherless souls, his experiments a deranged attempt to preserve them in a half-dead state. Handcuffed and raving, Elias was dragged away as the mill burned behind them, set ablaze by a sparked wire, its collapse burying his shrine of horrors. But Jamie, Lila, and the rescued boy swore they still heard that warped lullaby in their dreams. a chilling reminder that some shadows never fully die.